I think there's a whole bunch of ways we need to be innovative. The relationship between knowledge, skills, competencies is one of them. I think there's also real issues around multidisciplinarity. In terms of programs, that the traditional way, and often this is simply a reflection of university quality assurance structures that demands that everything is taught in 15 credit modules, that you've got to do a certain number of 15 credit modules a semester. That almost automatically leads you down the line of silos, that actually the easiest way to deliver on our 4 modules this semester is to have a marketing module and a strategy module and a finance module and a HR module, say. And often then the response to that has been, well, and somewhere towards the end of the programme we'll have some kind of integrative work, whether often it's around a dissertation or some kind of individual research project. I'm not sure that works, and I'm not sure that is going to create the kind of, we can't talk to graduates about having both a depth and a breadth of knowledge and being able to understand how organisations fit together if all we've ever taught them is individual silos and what happens in individual departments or individual activities within organisations. How you design that multidisciplinarity into a programme is actually a huge challenge. It's easier to do with small programs than it is with large programs. So we've done it with our MBA program, and we do lots and lots of mapping, and we ensure that there is a real coverage within modules that students, or in assessment at least, the students can pick up from a number of different modules in order to do that assessment. Again, it's relatively straightforward to do with a small program. How you do it when you've got, we had 750 new undergraduates join us back in September this year. So how you do it with 750 undergraduates on a program, I suspect you're not going to do it in the same way you would do it on an MBA. You've got to think slightly differently. I think you maybe think about more designing programs around the key competencies you want students to have rather than knowledge that you want students to have, and that's.
Is knowledge then becoming almost like a hygiene factor in order to do that, you do need to do that. How you do it, where you get it from.
See, I think I probably make the university and the business school in general slightly nervous. I'm almost completely relaxed about what we teach students on an undergraduate program in business management. Say, I think there is a level student. You can't leave a business program if you don't know what a spreadsheet is and you don't know how a profit and loss and balance sheet and a cash flow statement. You've got to know what marketing is and however many P's there are. You've got to know what strategies there is. You've got to know what goes on in a business, how it fits together. Beyond that, I'm completely relaxed. I'm completely relaxed for a number of reasons. I mean, reason number one is that what we teach them this year realistically is going to be, even if it's state of the art, even if it's absolutely bang on with practice right now, it's probably going to be a little bit obsolete in 2 years' time anyway. As an undergraduate 30 years ago, the joy 30 years ago was that the knowledge I picked up as an undergraduate kept me going for 7 or 8 years. The knowledge that our students are going to pick up will keep them going for a couple of years. So that's kind of why I'm slightly relaxed about knowledge. I'm also relaxed about knowledge because it's much more, there's this big I guess it's almost a kind of democratization of knowledge.
It's more accessible as well in a way. If you think about when you did it, you had the library, you didn't have the internet to just go and click and find out about whatever it is that you need to know. Oh, absolutely. So if you take we've had quite a few discussions with a number of people across the school around our undergraduate programs, talking about, for example, it's a very, very cliched example, Porter's 5 Forces model. Where should we teach Porter's 5 Forces model? And it appears in strategy modules, it appears in marketing modules, I think it appears in a project management module somewhere and various other places. My argument is that what it also appears in 7 or 8 different ways is Michael Porter on YouTube in 15 minutes explaining his model. And so what would be the point of me giving my particular take on Porter's 5 Forces model when actually it's just give students the link. You go, they can go look at it themselves, and then we can maybe do something slightly more interesting in the classroom than just talk about other people's work. So I think that kind of democratization is something that's quite significant around knowledge as well. It also means we need to treat knowledge in a slightly different way. So the challenge
when I was an undergraduate student, when I was a student straight afterwards doing an MPhil and doing research, and then as a PhD student, and then as an academic for the first 10, 15 years of my career, the challenge was finding information. The need to spend day after day after day sitting in a library. You know, I used to do quite a lot of empirical economic work, and that involves sitting in a library, often photocopying page after page after page of economic stats from the OECD, from the IMF, and all those kind of things. You know, and then when I got into management research, it was literally go to the library, taking the journal off the shelf and opening it and reading it and making notes. Now the challenge is not so much finding information. The challenge is actually being able to be digitally literate enough to be able to yes, find that information, but also to reach a judgment about the validity and the quality of that information, to be able to analyse that information, to be able to synthesise information from a variety of sources. So even within that, if we say it's still really about knowledge, there's still a completely different set of challenges around knowledge now compared to 15 years ago.